Couple of things have really struck me about tonight. One is I've developed a massive crush on Rosie, and the other one is it's all about adventure. And all our first memories of adventure are rock pools, I think. We live on a spume-blasted lump of rock in the eastern Atlantic. We're the edge of a continent. And when I was a young kid, I needed inspiration, and this hero appeared on my screen. This legionnaire in overly tight Speedos and a red bobble hat, smoking galwar and blowing up sharks. And I thought, that's what I want to do. There's a shark, I shall kill it. And I thought, that's the life for me. And it ended up sparking this lifelong obsession with the sea. And we're not planet Earth, we're planet ocean. The average depth of the sea is 2.5 miles. There's 1.3 billion cube kilometers of it. And the last 20 years or so have seen me doing various expeditions around the world. So I thought I'd give you my absolute top highlights of the last 20 years or so. Obviously, this is the poster boy. You can always tell when there's a great white around the boat because there's a little sign you listen for, a little sort of indigenous thing, and that's someone going, Jesus Christ, from the back of the boat. And that tells you that one of these big fellas has turned up. You know, they're critically endangered now, this amazing, iconic animal that's recognized throughout the world. And this is a shot taken off in False Bay. And there we are, one of the most explosive predatory events on planet Earth. 1/2 ton of white shark launching itself, suspended on glittering pillars of spray with the cliffs of False Bay gilded by an African dawn. And if that doesn't excite you, then nothing will. That is from a recent BBC Two project filming on the Great Barrier Reef. That's a tiger shark, and that's the front of an inflatable kayak. And we learned two things that day. The first one is tiger sharks will investigate anything as a foodstuff. The second thing was you can move really fast in flip-flops. That's a thresher shark. Sharks are critically endangered around the world. 100 million being taken out of the sea every year. None of our kids will see sharks, but that's a thresher shark, that magnificent tail at the back. I was trying to describe it to a Spanish fisherman once, and he just took a puff on his rollie and went, Zorro. He said, that's what they call them, Zorro. These amazing, charismatic animals that have been around for 350 million years. Now we move on to fish. This is the largest bony fish on Earth. This is a giant ocean sunfish, weighs 2.5 tons, lays 300 million eggs, more than any other vertebrate on Earth. And if every egg hatches out and grows to a full-size sunfish, it's the equivalent of a human baby growing to the size of 5 Titanics. And we know nothing about this animal. And the sea, of course, is full of creatures like this. This is a Humboldt squid because the shark's been eradicated. These squid have moved up to occupy that predatory niche, and they're straight out of a Hitchcock film. We filmed this in the Sea of Cortez. They don't even have the decency to have a backbone, and yet they'll come up and give you a good old shoeing. We got thoroughly beaten up by massive Humboldt squid. And this is the future of diving. Now, talking about wildlife, just touching on the Great Escapes, I had the good fortune to spend 3 years in the absolute bullseye of the best wildlife in Europe. And this is the beach in front of the Bothy. That's a royal stag. That's Rathsay Island behind me and the Isle of Skye beyond. And we tend to travel the world looking for great experiences, but there it is right in front of us. I never travel alone. I've always got a film crew with me, and believe me, the film crew work 10 times harder than any presenter. I'm known as 2 things on the set. I'm known as A, the warm prop, and the other one is the meat puppet. They call me the meat puppet. Is the meat puppet ready? And of course, I'm never truly alone because I'm followed absolutely everywhere by a big, hairy imbecile. And you'll see a shot of him in a moment. This could be sticking, couldn't it? Right, the big hairy imbecile is Reuben, my dog. And I'm going to tell you a long story about my dog now. It's funny, I got him from a rescue centre, and I'd only had him for 10 days when I first went up to Scotland. And this was my first BBC series. All my other series had been on Channel 5 and had been watched by literally dozens of people when they went out. So when the BBC series came out, I walked out of my front gate the day after it came out. And I thought, God, I wonder if anyone will recognise me. And I walked out with Reuben, taking him for his morning walk. And there were 2 builders working on the house opposite. And one of them said to the other one, bloody hell, look, it's that dog off the telly. I'm physically attached to him. Unbelievable. We've just finished filming the latest series, which is on the west coast of Ireland. Comes out on May the 8th, BBC Two, 9 o'clock. Sunday, by the way. Just double my viewing figures by all watching, please. And the idea of that series was to try and explore this amazing life along the west coast of Ireland, looking at the whale and dolphin populations and the shark populations as well. 21 species of shark we have around the coast of the UK and Ireland. 24 species of whale and dolphin. When you go for a swim in the summer, anywhere on the west or south coast of the UK, you will be within a mile of a shark the same length and weight as a double-decker bus. The second largest fish on Earth, it's the basking shark, weighs 5 tons, the same as 2 fully grown African elephants. And I think we don't really appreciate that, and the next series hopefully brings that out. We explored the coast using traditional Irish hookers, which are the Galway hooker craft, these beautiful old sailing craft. And we also experienced massively the famous Irish crack. You know, the famous good time. We had to leave for the sake of our livers at the end of our 6 months there. I'm also the only man in the history of BBC Two to look straight down the barrel of the lens and say, I'm here for the hookers and the crack. So do try and watch the series if you can. And the final thing I'll say, I think I pretty much would have naturally come to the end of my time there anyway, is it's been an absolute revelation this evening. It's been a great night. As I said, I have a new crush, but some great speakers, and I love the escalating scale of insanity as the evening goes on. When Sam spoke, I thought, no one's going to be madder than Sam. Everything he does is insane. And then Rosie came up. I was like, yes, the very zenith of insanity. But great speakers, a great night, and a great charity, I think. So thanks very much.